Hello, Holy Trinity family, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, most particularly in my case to my own mother who watches all my YouTube stuff. Hi, Ma, I love you. And it seems fitting this month of May, on Mother's Day, just after the US and Canadian bishops consecrated their nations to the heart of Mary during these troubles, to look more closely at who our Blessed Mother is. As Catholics, many of us know the special devotion that we hold toward Mary for her role in the ministry of Jesus and in her place in the foundation and the life of the Church today. We also, many of us, know the honorifics that were given to Mary, like Queen of Heaven, and the doctrines surrounding her, like her Immaculate Conception. But today I want to back away from those elements and to focus particularly on Mary as a person, and more particularly as a mother, in perhaps one of the most human and motherly portrayals of her in all the scriptures. Or, in other words, I want to focus on the most Mama Mary, Mother Mary story that I think is in the Bible. It only took me 3 takes to get that tongue twister right. If you'll turn with me to the scriptures, chapter 2 of John begins with this story. On the 3rd day there was a marriage at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus was also invited to the marriage with his disciples. When the wine failed, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, what does that have to do with me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now 6 stone jars were standing there for the Jewish rites of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to them, "Fill the jars with water." And they filled them up to the brim, and he said to them, "Now draw some out and take it to the steward of the feast." So they took it. When the steward of the feast tasted the water, now become wine, he did not know where it came from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. And the steward of the feast called the bridegroom and said to him, "Every man serves the good wine first, and when people have drunk freely, the poor wine. But you have kept the good wine until now." This was the first of his signs Jesus did at Cana in Galilee, manifesting his glory, and his disciples believed in him. Now Mary's place in that story is simultaneously one of being the center and also on the sidelines of the main action going on. On the one hand, Jesus is obviously the center stage. He's the one performing the miracle. He's the one who rightly receives the glory for what has been done. And yet, at the same time, without Mary's attentiveness to the needs of the bride and groom, without her guidance toward the servants at the wedding, and without her gentle promptings toward Jesus, we wouldn't have this story. We wouldn't have this beautiful portrayal of the mother-son relationship between Jesus and Mary, and we wouldn't have this beautiful example of Mary as the prime disciple, the first believer in her son. First of all, Mary isn't concerned with her own reputation or her own self in this story. She cares about the well-being of the bride and groom. Consider it. Perhaps if you were at a wedding and some guest was busybodying herself around trying to make sure that everything was running properly, you might think poorly of that person. But for Mary, that wasn't the main concern. The main concern was the happiness and well-being of the bride and groom at the wedding. And what mother wouldn't put herself out there, wouldn't put a personal sacrifice on her own self if it meant the well-being and happiness of her children? Second of all, Mary guides the servants toward a solution to their problem. She takes the initiative to point them in the right direction. Now, she knows that she herself can't necessarily solve this problem. You know, her solutions when she approaches the servants isn't, "Here's $20, go down the street and buy another bottle," or she doesn't chastise them saying, "Well, what are you doing? Why didn't you, serve less in the first place? Or why didn't you buy more in the second place?" No, her solution is telling, I think, of her faith in her son. She says, "Go to Jesus, do whatever he tells you." And honestly, what mother wouldn't want to guide their children to being able to solve the problems that they have? Even if mom herself can't solve the problem, she wants to guide her children toward a solution. And at the same time, what mother wouldn't want to point her children toward the one who can solve any problem? Jesus. Lastly, Mary's encouragement and prompting of Jesus underscores the need in this current situation, but also the earnestness with which Mary takes the concerns brought before her and lays them before Jesus. Once again, Mary's not God. She can't solve this problem on her own, but she knows that her son can. And through Mary's guidance, through Mary's attentiveness, and through Mary's prompting, she provides the kernel of faith that is necessary for the miracle at Cana to take place. She trusts that her son is able to do something that she or the servants or the bridegroom cannot themselves accomplish. And also, just as a little sidebar here, a little personal interpretation, a personal headcanon for how I see this story taking place. When Mary is pointing the servants toward Jesus and saying, "Do whatever he tells you," in my mind, she's giving him from across the room the mom look. And I think all of us know what the mom look is, because I'm sure some of you, as moms, have given it. And certainly all of us as children have received it at some point. Now, obviously, Mary wouldn't need to prompt Jesus to do the right thing. He doesn't need any help in that department. But certainly all other earthly mothers definitely need to prompt their children to do the right thing, or at least encourage them to do the right thing. And what mother wouldn't do that? Wouldn't, by encouragement or by warning, guide their children to living a life qualitatively like the life of Jesus? So I want to thank you for joining me in exploring this particular piece of scripture, especially today on Mother's Day, and that you might see how it connects to the celebration that we're making today of all the mothers across the world. And it's my hope that, particularly for mothers, that this story and Mary's example in general might be an inspiration to you, but also a vindication of your vocation of motherhood. In this story, we see the same things that we see moms every day doing. Moms making sacrifices, moms being generous with their attentiveness and their care for others, moms pouring out guidance on their children, and moms providing encouragement and, yes, even the mom look across a room in order to guide children in doing the right thing. All of those things are glorious manifestations of the goodness of that vocation, and we want to thank you particularly today for all those times when you've done all or any of those things. And for all of us, whether moms or not today, let's take a moment to honor our own earthly mothers, but also our mom in heaven for her example and for her guidance in all these troubled times that we're going through today. So from all of us here at Holy Trinity Parish, we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day to our mom in heaven, and God bless you all this weekend.